hello.
Mhm.
Another question. Hold on, I gotta. Interesting. Figure it out.
Put me on mute. Good morning. Hi, Wendy. I'm going to shut some doors here. Hang on. Yeah. There's one. Wendy, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself and let me know.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay.
Usually my camera's on. I'm trying to figure, I guess you don't need that.
Yeah, no, it's not necessary, but
Okay.
okay. So I'm doing compliance orientation. Have you done any transactions yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So let me take you into command. And so basically what I do is I look over everybody's documents and make sure that they're correct. And any mistakes that they have or anything that's left out, I'll let you know. And hopefully you can get that done before you close.
Okay.
So what I always tell people, and this is a North Carolina law, that the first things that you need to do, let me go into mine. In the, let's see. Can you see what are you seeing?
I see your command page, create new task.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go into one of my opportunities. Just as, and when I go into the documents, here they are. So there's a checklist of all the documents that are needed. But you can also see here that is the requirement. If you look in your command under an opportunity, once you get there, these documents are required. Working with real estate agent, the listing agreement, and then the ones that are conditional or optional, or the conditional ones usually have the little little upside down exclamation point.
Uh-huh.
And if you just hover over that, it tells you why it's conditional. It'll be
Okay.
needed if you've entered the listing as coming soon. You'll need that form.
Okay.
So that's how to read these. You just have to, every document that is required, you need to put it into your command. Okay.
Okay.
Over here on the checklist, you'll see that there are several to choose from. And one, so this is a North Carolina listing. Okay, so you choose that. A South Carolina listing would be here. And then if you have a referral, if you have a land listing, choose that. And if you have a commercial, that's another whole ballgame. Okay.
Okay.
And then if you're on the buyer side, so if I go out of here and go into another opportunity on the buyer side, you'll see over here that the documents are required. And over here, okay?
Okay,
So every document that you see there that's required, you need to have that in there.
okay,
If you go into, let's see, you'll go into the KWB resources. Have you been on that, our webpage yet?
yes,
Okay, so you should be seeing that. You're going to go into office resources and forms and checklists. And that, have you been on here yet?
no,
Okay, so the password here is capital B and then small letter AMC 350.
okay,
Type that in and press go. It should take you to the forms and checklists, okay? So general forms are here, and those are the ones that are not in into the in the MLS or the North Carolina Realtor Association, South Carolina Realtor Association. So these sample forms that you'd want to give to your seller are in here. We also have our the title insurance, the affiliated business disclosure. That's something pretty new.
okay,
That is, so that's not everybody gets those, but we have them in our office. Okay, the other one that are office documents are a lot disclosure. So if you're selling land, you'll need to fill out one of these. The septic and sewer disclosure is in here. You'll need those with every transaction. Okay, so this is where you'll find these that you can fill out and upload them into your opportunity.
okay. So when we go there, we will sign in as a guest and use the VA password, the password you said.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's not you're not a guest. That's just that's the password to get in to get the forms.
okay.
Okay. So these are the general forms. Then you'll.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My name is Azeb. Could you repeat the password, please?
It's capital B and then small letter AMC 350. And you can find those passwords at the top in the title page of our KW Valentine Facebook page as well.
Okay, it doesn't have a username, just only password?
Just that's it. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Because I just came late. Sorry, I
That's
had a hard
okay.
time to connect
Okay.
with the Zoom, so that's why.
Sure. Okay. So now we're into the checklist. And if you have a listing, just pull up this checklist. You can download it and then you can write down what you have. But you'll notice the first step is a submit for review in or in Command, actually, within 3 days of the listing date. So once you have a listing, you get your working with real estate agent, your listing agreement, and any other coming soon or any other form that you need in that first couple days. Put that in and submit it for review. Not in DocuSign, this should say in Command, within 3 days. Okay, so
Okay.
what'll happen? Okay, were you going to ask something?
No,
Oh, okay. So so what'll happen is, let me go back to my command. So you'll have the working with real estate agent and the listing agreement or buyer agreement, and then the offer to purchase or the MLS sheet. Okay. Then you'll submit it right here up at the top, submit to MC for review. Okay. Once that's submitted, that comes into my queue, and then I can look at it and see if everything's correct. What'll happen is you'll see over here that it'll say returned. Over here on the under contract, it'll say returned. Let me go back to my listing one. So see how I have missing and returned?
Yes.
here? So, and then you'll see here the listing says returned. So that means there's something that you need to address. And I usually will add a comment to you. I'll address it to you. When you add a comment, you have to start the comment with an @ symbol. So that brings up a list of people to, that you want to address. And if it's your opportunity, I'll address you. So your name will be there and I'll put your name and then I'll type what's needed. And then I'll add the reply. Once that happens, a little dot will appear right up here. A little red dot in this little bell here. You'll see a little red dot. That means you have a message. So once you click on that little, once you click on the bell, all these notifications will come up and you'll see a notification from me and it'll say replace the rejected documents per note, or it'll say please add the missing documents per marked placeholder. Okay. If you click on that message, it'll take you right to your opportunity. So you don't have to go searching for it. Okay. Once you see that document, you'll say, oh, this is returned. Why was it returned? Well, if you hover over this little dialog box right here, you'll see what was missing. And then you'll have to go in and correct it and resubmit it, or just re-upload it. To re-upload something, you would click on these 3 dots to the right and say update.
Okay.
And then okay, so don't add another, there's a way you can add another placeholder, but I really don't want you to. Oops, wait a minute. Sorry. Oops, uh-oh. There we go. Lost everybody for a minute. Yeah, once you update it, just update. Don't add another placeholder for the same documents, okay?
You just update only for the specific document that you're missing, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
You updated only for the document that you are missing. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not updated for the missing document. The missing document won't have anything in here. So you won't have these 3 little dots next to the one that you already have in here. So the missing document, you'll just add it like you normally do. And I would say attach files from DocuSign. And this is a little different than what Room Docs. And then select. And then you select the ones that you've got completed in DocuSign. Okay. So that's why it's important to know the difference between, let's say, the signed. I have one that says signed PDF. I have no idea what that means. What's signed? So it's good to label all of your documents in DocuSign to the correct thing. So it's a fully executed. You can use FE, fully executed. Listing agreement, fully executed, working with real estate agent. That means everybody's signed. It's all signed and dated and everything else. That way you'll know which one to choose, because it'll be a drop-down menu and it'll have like 3 listing agreements. One is the blank one is the one signed by you, and one is fully signed. Okay, so if you have that and you have it fully signed, then you'll know which one to choose. Because I get a lot of that. That's one thing that I get a lot of, that I have to return that says that you have to, it says, oh, it's a blank document. I just had one this morning that was completely blank. So I had to return that and tell them to upload the right one. Okay,
Okay,
all right. So let's say okay, so a lot of times I'm in my list. If I go into my under contract folder, these are the ones where you put all of your under contract documents. Once the listing is, you have it listed and you've got it under contract now, put your under contract documents here. A lot of times on this, the receipt of monies, you have to get the acknowledgement of the earnest money and the due diligence. Okay, so a lot of times they're on two separate pages. Same page 15, but it's two separate, documents. You've sent one to the listing agent, and you've sent one to the attorney. So if they've sent them differently, so now you have two different pages. If you can't put them all in one document and then submit it for here, for the receipt of money, I'm getting a lot of people that have added another placeholder, which are these, and put like the receipt of their earnest money in a separate placeholder. And that's fine for that. Because it's two different documents, one for the earnest money, one for the due diligence. Okay, so to do that, if you want to add a placeholder, you would click on these three dots here, click on that, and add a document. Okay, it'll ask you what your document name is. You have to enter a name, and you can put receipt of earnest money. And then down here, it's the document type. And this is really, I really don't care what this one is, but it could be an addendum. Okay, you would click addendum. You have to click something in there, but it's not really, I don't care which one it is. And then you search the file, see how it comes up if I'm in DocuSign. If it's not in DocuSign and you just got it from your computer, then bring it up from your computer. Okay.
Okay.
And then choose which one it is and save it. And then that'll go down at the very bottom. And I always look all the way down at the very bottom, especially if I only see one of these signed. It's like, oh, here's the due diligence. Well, I want to see if you've added another placeholder for the earnest money.
okay,
Okay, does
okay,
that make sense so far?
yes,
Okay. So so basically that's what that's how that works. You upload the documents from DocuSign into here. Don't forget to upload them, because I'm getting a lot of, oh, I've completed all those documents. They're there. And I don't see it in your opportunities. We can't see your DocuSign account. Only you can. So so whatever you have in DocuSign has to come over to Command. Okay, that's the only way we can. That's the only way we can check them, check the files. Okay.
okay,
The other thing is under details. So I've got this. If you put the property address in here, it makes it easier for us to be able to find your opportunity. Because a lot of times, like especially with buyers, you don't know the address at first. But once you find the address, once you have it, please put it in here. And you do that by just clicking that little, the little pencil here and edit it, and then you can put it in there.
okay,
And that makes it easier for us to be able to find the opportunity. Okay?
Okay,
Don't forget to do your offers and commissions after you have the opportunity, or after you have it under contract. Why is that going out on me? Okay. Make sure you do the offers and commissions, okay? Click on that. And there's nothing here yet. So you have to add a new offer. And you can call it initial offer, you can name it whatever you want. Because if you have a listing, you're going to have multiple offers, more than likely. So you can put all the offers in here and then kind of keep that in one place, so that it's a good thing to have more than one offer. You can put accepted offer, whatever, but you create the offer. And just follow along on the prompts, okay? You don't have to, you have to put the buyer and the seller's name, but anything that's in the little red asterisk are the important ones that you need, okay?
okay,
So it won't let me go forward until I've done all the required, but all the agent analysis, that's only for your records. Once you finish all that, you're going to accept the offer, okay? Whichever offer is accepted. And then you're going to go into commissions. That'll prompt you to go into your commissions tab. And then you just fill all the commissions out. And once you do that, you'll have to submit for review your commission. Okay. That will let us assign you a DA number, and that's how you get paid. So
Okay.
don't wait till the last minute to do this either, because we like to have those DA numbers in pretty soon. So don't forget to hit submit on this. A lot of people, I have to remind them to submit your offer, okay?
okay.
All right. Anything else? Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. I've got, what I did was I made a little list here of common mistakes that people do in their documents. This is ones that I have to repeat, I have to return them quite frequently. So I'm going to go over them a little bit here with you. One, make sure you use the updated forms, okay? 2021 for now. And that'll probably change here in August, which they usually do. They change some of the documents. So every August, they change the documents a little bit. But make sure you're using those forms. Otherwise, it really isn't what do you want to call it? A legal document. Okay. And Sabre doesn't like blank spaces on any forms. So if there is a blank space on the form and you don't have anything to put in there, use the NA. Okay. I was told one time in a class, and it kind of stuck with me, that if you have a blank, if you give any blank spaces to somebody with an offer to purchase, you're presenting it to the seller. Who's to say they can't fill something out that you didn't really want to do? So, and then you bring it back. Oh, good, it's signed. And now you have this extra little thing that they wanted you to do that you didn't really want, you didn't really sign up for. So always use NA or, not applicable. So don't leave blank spaces. Double check that you have all the initials and signatures where applicable, especially on the hang on just a second. I don't want that. Wait a minute. On your documents, on your listing, no, that's a blank space, but okay, on your listing agreement, make sure you have the expiration date. Don't put it up here because this one says it's currently listed for sale with another real estate firm. So the expiration date doesn't go there. The expiration goes in number 1C right here. Make sure the expiration date is 2022 because I'm getting a lot that I have to return because they've put 2021. Okay, all the entire property address and everything, the property identification number or the legal description of the property, make sure all that's in there. Make sure they've signed or initialed, I mean. So in this leased or not owned, if there's anything, just put NA, NA, NA. Okay, so no blank spaces and check marks need to be in there. So the home warranty, make sure you've said they do not agree or agree. This is one of those ones that they can go and fill out and it's like, oh, you said you agreed. It's right there. Make sure you have the listing price. Also, no to be determines, no TBD. Okay. So, and then every page should be initialed by you and by the seller. And the on number 8, cooperate with buyer's agents only is a second line. Okay, that's the only one we use. Okay, we don't work with the sub agents. And we don't have the other firm's policy. Okay. So right here is the one that's commonly missed. This one is important that the seller acknowledges that he's been made aware of the firm's duty. Okay, now this commencement of marketing date, everybody gets a little confused on this. Commencement of marketing means that's when you're going to start marketing the property. That could be when it's going active. That could be when it's going coming soon. Well, those two things really. So if you're not using a coming soon, then that 10A should be the active marketing date. Now that could be several weeks away. If that's what you and the seller have agreed upon. But it can't be the same as what was I thinking? It can't be. It has to match the MLS marketing date. It has to match either the MLS marketing date or the coming soon date. Okay. So that's important. And then if you're going to publicly market it, if you're going to put it in the MLS, then they have to initial here. And it's not a check mark, it's an initial, okay? And then click or just check what's appropriate. If they want to do coming soon, if that's checked, then you need to put the active date in. So this could be the coming soon date, but this has to be the active date, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And if you're not using coming soon advertising, don't check this box and make sure this matches the MLS marketing date up here in 10A. If they don't want it listed, if they want it to be a firm exclusive, they're going to initial here and have no initials here, NA here, because you're not marketing it. And none of these are checked. Okay. So they want it office exclusive, no advertising. That's when they would initial here. They can't do both. Okay, so don't have them initial both places. Moving on down, all these, I always check for all the check marks. Dual agency. And this is right here on the listing agreement, page 11. Don't have them initial all 3 boxes. Okay. And do you know why? Anybody?
I think one is if you select on dual agent, then it can be the other 2. I believe that's the reason.
Well, it's a dual agency. So if the seller authorizes the firm to act as a dual agent, representing both buyer and seller, subject to terms and conditions set forth, blah, blah, blah. Or the seller desires exclusive representation at all times and does not authorize the firm. So they can't do both because they're contradictory terms. So always have them just initial one of these. If I always have them authorize both, just because it saves time. This says initial only if applicable. So let's say you you have the listing, the seller, and another agent from this office brings a buyer. Then it's going to be designated dual agency. So then you would have to come back here, have them initial it, and then resubmit it. So why not just have them do it at first? Okay, so designated agency is 2 separate agents from this office. Okay, so think of it as Sabra has to designate one being the buyer's agent and one being the listing agent. And the dual agent means that it's you acting as a dual agent. So one agent is representing both the buyer and seller. Okay.
Got you.
So it's good to have them authorize both of those because the office is so big that there's, a good chance that there will be another agent from this office, or you'll have a listing or a buyer to bring to this listing. Okay, so that's important. And then
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
This is only if the client is allowed to do that, dual agent, right? Because usually, sometimes the clients, they don't prefer that.
I didn't understand you. Say it one more
The
time.
dual agents, okay, the dual agents, sometimes clients, they don't like to work working with dual agents, the same agent, like working with the buyer and seller at this moment. So we don't have to select that. Am I right?
Sabra doesn't like it. A lot of agents do it. It can get into some muddy waters, it can get into some legal issues apparently. But so if you don't want to be a dual agent, or if they don't want you to act as a dual agent, then you can't be a designated agent as well. Okay. So, oops. So in that case, you would ask Sabra to assign somebody to act as the buyer's agent. If it's your listing and you have a buyer, you're going to have to give that buyer to someone else. I guess you can do a referral fee for the buyer, but you can't represent that buyer.
I got you.
That's
good.
Yeah, so that's why.
Just a possibility. I'm asking you. Maybe it's not gonna happen, but just they might have some possibilities. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then the last page here, this is page 13. We want the seller's printed name. You need the signature and date. You need the one phone number, email, and the current mailing address. Those three things, the phone number, email, and current mailing address. Even if it's the same as the listing address, put it back here, because if Sabre needs to get a hold of them for some reason, she'll have it right here. Okay. Again, if it's an entity buyer, they can sign in the entity name. But if it's your entity seller, I should say, then you'll need to have entity documentation to prove that the buyer or the signer is a valid signer. Okay. So something in the LLC documentation that states, you know, Steve Smith is a valid signer. He's part of the entity. Okay. And then this is where you sign and date. Make sure you remember to put your license number in there. The firm name, our firm license number is C13291. And the firm phone numbers, 704-887-6600. That's what goes there. Your phone number goes here. Okay.
Okay.
So those are so all signatures and date. Then I just kind of went over this. You have to have a valid expiration date. So this is just everything that I've noticed. Page 7 at number 11, our firm does not hold earnest money. So make sure it's checked. We do not hold the earnest money. Okay. And then, like I said, I went through most of this with the listing agreement in there. On the property disclosures, make sure that you have the property address is on page 1 and on the top of page 2. Okay. And all the blank spaces should be completed. So in the property disclosures, there is a little bit of it between numbers 10 and 13 that you have to put down, you know, when was how old is the HVAC, and is it on septic or sewer, whatever. Okay. So just make sure they have all those answered. And that's the property disclosures, the mineral oil and gas. And this one I get a lot of. Make sure you verify that they intended to answer yes if they answered yes to any of the statements, because that might affect title. Usually the answers are no. They don't know of anybody. Numbers 1 and 4 on the mineral oil and gas have a no representation because that's from a previous owner. The no representation is not for all of them. It's just for numbers 1 and 4. Okay. But make sure they answer each question, and probably should be no on all of them. Okay.
Okay.
Septic or sewer. Now, this one, you as the agent must verify if the property is on city water and sewer or on the septic. I said to use the newest form, which has you verify both water and sewer. And it's found at that kwbresources.com. And you have to call. Don't say this, don't get it from the seller. The seller, you know, he might give false information. You never know. but Sabre wants you to call the city or county or HOA or the health department if it's on septic. And then a lot of times you can find the septic permit too and upload that. Okay.
Okay,
Lead-based paint initial, your seller must initial and check appropriate box at A and B, okay? And then you have to include your initials at the top of page 2 and then sign your name at the bottom of page 2. And the seller has to sign page 2 too. So don't leave anything blank on that form. Okay. The MLS active data sheet. When you upload this, make sure it's agent full. I meant to add that. It's the agent full active data, or not active, but data sheet. If you have a listing that goes under contract immediately, don't worry about it. Just put the under contract one in there. It just can't be one that's incomplete. Okay. So it says to add either the active or the coming soon one. Well, we know that these properties go under contract so fast that if you have the under contract one, that's acceptable. Okay. But under the company remarks, excuse me, when you're filling that form out, you want to put down seller authorizes dual agency. Okay, that's something that Sabra wants in the forms now. Okay.
Okay.
Proof of square footage. This must include the drawing of the home, calculations, total square footage, and the property address. Okay, I get a lot without property address. I get all sorts of them. So make sure it includes all 4 of these, okay?
okay.
A drawing of home, is it like a picture? That's what you mean? I'm kind of
Not a
confused.
picture, just a drawing.
Drawing?
Yeah.
Okay.
The picture of the home won't do any good, just the drawing of the layout, I mean, kind of the layout or the
Layout,
outline of the
okay.
home. Sorry. Okay. And the calculations. A lot of times people don't include that. That's why to me, it's easier just to do it. I mean, just have to call someone and Measure America or something like that, have them do it because they include all that. And it's like $80 or something. Okay. In the showing time instructions, this must include at least one owner's name and contact information. Okay. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Just put the owner's name and their contact information, especially if they're going to get the calls to verify or confirm the showing time. Okay. In the buyer agency agreement, you have to include the date at the top of page 1. And then at number 3, they must have a big beginning and an end date. And at page 14, page 4 at number 14 is the same thing, the designated and dual agency. 14D is the dual agency, only one of the statements, not both. And again, yeah, you about done? Hang on. Okay. Include the firm's license number and phone number. Again, on the offer to purchase, we don't want any to be determined. So the escrow agent cannot be to be determined. And now on page 11 at number 14, that's where you have lead-based paint, additional provisions, disclosure. All these little check marks on the offer to purchase that say, let me see if I can find it, what documents are included. So you'll need to. Page 11. Oh, here. So right here, at number 13, sometimes, or number 14, I should say. So if any of these are checked, FHA, lead-based paint, additional provisions addendum. If any of those are checked, then I'll look for them to be in the opportunity. Okay.
Okay.
So if they're not there, then I will tag you on them. And so at the very end of the offer to purchase, again, they need to sign and date, buyer and seller. Right here, you have to put your listing firm name, which will be ours if you're the listing agent, the selling firm's agent. If it's from the same office, two different individual agents, then you're going to check this box here, acting as designated dual agent. Okay, check them on both sides. You don't have to do anything up here with these check marks. But if there's two different agents, this has to be checked. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll go back and check to make sure they've authorized designated dual agents on your listing agreement. Because if they didn't, then they're going to have to authorize that, and I'll return that to you as well. So if it's you acting as both the listing and the buyer's agent, then you would just check this. So your name would be here and here, and you would be dual agent.
Okay.
But if it's two separate agents from this office, then it's designated, and you have to have that checked.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Does anybody have any questions?
Not so far.
No, we're good.
Again, when you download a copy of the MLS that's under contract, do the agent full copy. Okay, needs to be that. You don't have to include the pictures. Lead-based paint, buyers must initial at C, D, and E, and then they have to check the appropriate statement at E. Okay, there's a checkbox, whether they want to waive the lead-based paint, something or other. But you just have them check one of those boxes. And again, the septic or sewer is, you need to verify you as the buyer's agent. Now, if you're a dual agent, then you can use the same one, but not other than that. Don't use our don't use the listing agents, even if it's of the same office, don't use theirs. You as the buyer agent need to call. Again, you got to make sure you get the name of the person you're talking to and what utility company. So if you call 311, get the name of the person you talk to, and then you can put 311 in the utility company. And professional services disclosure. You have to include the name, address, and firm name at the top of page 1. And the buyer should initial each service either in the selected column or the waived column, not both. Okay. And if they do initial that they've selected that service, then you have to put the name of the service provider in that column. Okay. And to offer at least 2 service providers for each service. So we're not steering as to, we want them to use this one particular one. All right. So they're getting ready for another meeting in here. Does anybody have any questions?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay. Yeah.
In the
guys-
beginning, I'm sorry, in the beginning, I just missed it. You gave it to me, the password, but what is the main, do I have to do? Command? Document or something?
Yeah.
You gave me
Command
the
is where all your documents-
BANSC.
Command is where all your documents are going to go, whether they're from your computer or from DocuSign. But they have to go into your opportunity in Command, and then you submit it to the MC to
The MC,
bring
okay.
it to my queue so that I can
Okay.
review it.
Carla,
Okay.
I actually did have a question.
Okay.
And we can find this checklist that you just went over with us in KYB Connect. I mean, KYB Resources.
It's KWB.
Sorry,
Keller Williams. Yeah.
KWB Resources
.com. Yep.
and under,
It's all
under,
small letters.
sorry,
It's all small letters, kwbresources.com.
and then under what tab?
It's in the, let me see. It's in their office resources and then forms and checklists.
Okay, all right, great.
And then it'll prompt you to put that password in.
Okay, great. Under office checklist, probably. Okay,
The general forms is the ones where you're gonna find the septic and sewer, lot disclosure, any forms that are not required by North Carolina Real Estate or South Carolina Real Estate Commission are gonna be in general forms.
okay,
Just play around with it and get to know that website. It's really useful.
great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Not right now.
Okay, so we're always here in the office. If anybody has any questions, you can call me anytime.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you, guys. Appreciate
Bye.
your coming on board.